Hey David, Lance, anybody else, Dana. It's January 19th. It is 7:30 p.m. I am in Phoenix, Arizona. I finally got an apartment after about 3.5 years of living out of tents, you name it. So, want to get into what's going on here. Yes, of course, dealing with the FBI. Yes, technology in my head. I've got to get into stuff here. There's a story about a dead cat yesterday. A dead black cat yet again. I moved in on the 17th, so I've only been here 2 days. Did I say today's my birthday, 51? And this has been going on for years on end, my God. Anyhow, I was staying at a hotel, which is quite literally just meters down the road here. And a situation came up with some cats living around a car dealership there, something to do with cars. Maybe they do car repairs, I don't know. It's irrelevant, but there's some cats staying there. And, I said to these agents, yeah, try not to kill those cats, There's a story to that, a little bit of a story, but the thing is, a couple of days later, a few days later, yesterday, I finally go out. They're making me sick with technology, by the way. They've given me the exact same illness that they gave my daughter and now my girlfriend and my girlfriend's parents. The story here is our daughter got sick right before Christmas. That was always something the CIA did to our daughter. It's to take a shit on the holidays. This goes back for years and years on end. What do I tell you? It's the chances of it not being agents with technology are about zero. This has gone on constantly and consistently for years on end, all the way back to when I was living with my family. So where were we here? Hang on. I have to think about that, certainly since I lived in Berlenbach. I'm sure this also was back when I was living with my family. What they're doing is they're affecting me. Hang on, let me check. Okay, so going back to Berlenbach. So this would be December 2014, and I don't remember anything in regards to back when I was with my family. I've got to be very careful doing these videos. What they're doing is they're affecting me. They do this in all videos. I'm just paying more attention, and what they're not doing what I call an observation blocker. I notice things here, and normally what they do is they keep me from speaking about it. And of course, this interrupts the flow of the video that I have to explain so much here. Usually I just say it and that's it. So this came up. I was staying at the hotel room, and there were these cats there, and I said, try not to kill them. And then yesterday, I go out. I'm feeling better. I've been watching our daughter be targeted with this illness, and then my girlfriend, she finally gets it, late and after the fact. Then her parents get it, and agents and agencies know, well, they're noting that I am noting them targeting my family here. They know I love my girlfriend's parents, my ex-girlfriend's parents, and, they could say, oh, well, his daughter gave it to him. Well, my girlfriend got the illness way late. Everybody else got this much later. And the point is, they gave me the exact same thing. My daughter told me it's a gripple infect or something. It's a type of flu. And my symptoms match my daughter's and my girlfriend's and her parents exactly. Ta-da. So, internet virus, it's stupid. Yeah, I got to try and keep my humor through all of this. Sorry for the bad joke. So they're making me sick. I've got a job lined up at the airport, which is quite literally about 1.5 miles down the road. So this apartment is good in terms of location. The situation comes up with the cats. Yesterday, they stop affecting me. I'm feeling much better. Because what's happening is I'm doing stuff to get myself better. And then what they do is they use technology for making me more sick. They just stomp right back on me, with the illness. This goes all the way back to WHATS officers. I would start to recover from something they gave me, and then they affect me even heavier, make the illness even worse. You understand? And this is what's been going on. So I went out yesterday, and I get steered to the store to get coffee. Now, the whole thing was set up ahead of time, and I know this in multiple ways. Yes, David, they can steer you physically to a spot they want. This happened back when I was living with my family. I go out to the park to look for money, this and that. They'd steer me to something that one of their people had left out in a field as a point. You understand? And there was no denying it, and this happened repeatedly. So they steer me to this one shop. I start to cross the street, and there's a dead black cat run over in the road. Furthermore, they steered me, believe it or not, right to where that cat was at. So they had it marked where it got run over. Now, this happened in Chapel Hill. They ran over this black cat. The story to that is I was dealing with the agents in Chapel Hill. I said, I'm going to go back to Germany. I'll be dealing with the CIA again. And so they got in touch with those agents. And LJ and his officers from Berlin-Bach, they constantly and consistently targeted pets. They stole a cassette that proved Horvath's guilty. They lied about it. And the way they reinforced with these FBI agents from Chapel Hill that they were innocent is they killed animals. And that was to make it look like, we wouldn't have gone there if Dante, if he wasn't incorrect, then we would not have gone there. You understand? In other words, their heavy actions makes it look like they are just justified and like they are not lying. So LJ and his officers targeted pets in my neighborhood. And back when I was with these last FBI agents, right before I left Chapel Hill, we're talking just a couple of months ago, at the end of November, towards the last week of November. The point is, in November, they killed this black cat. And with all the innuendos and signs, and had their girls at this one place give innuendos, specifically about a black cat. I did a video about it. And the point is, same thing all over again. I say to these agents, try not to kill those cats. And then they steer me to this one shop. And quite literally, I almost step on this dead black cat. So, so what do I tell you? And it can also be, and then they're targeting my family and making me sick. I've got a class. I've got to take a training class for the airport. I've got that on this Tuesday, just in 2 days. And so the threat is, we'll keep making you so sick, you won't be worth the rat's ass for the training class. Or they'll have me miss it, you understand? And it's quite literally just like a mile down the road where I've got to go for that. It's at a hotel. Now, they killed the cat for no damn reason. And they've been making threats against me, my girlfriend, my aunt. And the way they've given innuendos against my aunt is they give me an instant breathing problem, like I can't breathe. This goes all the way back to J.C. Johnson. And the whole story to that is they were making it so I can't breathe. Now, I checked, a long time ago I did this, I checked when JC got sick with pneumonia and when the CIA began giving me innuendos. This is back when I was living in Berlin-Bach. And the point is they were giving the innuendos before J.C. Johnson ever got the pneumonia. You understand? And it was one of their ways of giving innuendos in the fact that he was going to be targeted and killed. They were doing several innuendos that all fit him getting pneumonia and dying from pneumonia and drowning. And what they've done is they've wiped out my memory in regards to those. The only one I do remember is the one they keep using. Strangely enough, this last year, my aunt began getting this breathing problem. And that began after the FBI agents in Chapel Hill directly communicated to me they were going to target that aunt and or uncle. And then they killed the uncle, and then I find out much, much later that my aunt is having these breathing problems. And the FBI agents in Chapel Hill were doing the same thing. They were giving me this all of a sudden you can't breathe. And then in addition to that, these agents are affecting me in the smoking. So, this started back in Chapel Hill. The agents in New Orleans, what do I tell you? I stopped smoking. They did the same damn thing to get me smoking again. I've, quote, stopped here multiple times, and they have used technology heavily for getting me to smoke again. That is what is going on. And of course, the whole threat here is, well, we're going to affect you into smoking, whether you like it or not, which quite obviously I don't. And we can use that as a cover story for killing you. I mean, this guy out here lives here. He's a nice guy. I got nothing against him, but, he's in cahoots with the FBI. I deal with gang stalking, I don't hold it against the guy, but he said something to me about his lungs. And whether it's true or not, I don't know. I just take it as an automatic threat, actually, being delivered to me, going to give me lung problems. So they use, they want that smoking in place as a cover story. So anyhow, back to the black cat here, dead as a doornail, run over, just like the cat in Chapel Hill. Can be, they've been giving they've been doing this breathing problem, so automatically that's an innuendo in regards to my aunt. Like, she hasn't suffered enough. They murdered her husband. It can also be a reference to targeting our black cat back in Germany, who is with my girls, and every agent knows I love that cat. I just love that cat beyond belief. So it's also a threat and reference in regards to that cat. I mean, David, why did they choose a black cat all over again? Come on. It's the same way I took it when they killed this black cat in November last year. And these agents in Chapel Hill were working in cahoots with the CIA agents from Berlin-Bach. They targeted a black cat for a reason. So, with a single thing like that, there's multiple innuendos, and of course, the innuendo itself is, well, we'll start murdering people. It can be your cat next, or it can be your aunt. In addition to that, there have been threats made against me specifically. They're affecting my memory because they want me to be less accurate, but I'm sure they threatened my girlfriend here. I mean, do you honestly believe I would have a hard time remembering that? No, they have threatened my girlfriend. And my girlfriend's father has been targeted consistently. David, I did a video for you back in 2018. They were having blood come out of, my privates down here. And I told my girlfriend, she looked shocked. She didn't say to me why she looked shocked, but it turned out her father was pissing out blood. And he has been targeted over the years, and that goes back to when I was living with my girlfriend. I never told her. But Horvat would do to him what she was doing to me specifically. You understand? So I take threats against my ex's parents very, very seriously. Of course I do. Her father has been targeted consistently. He's had more problems. Oh, that's another one that came up. I found out from our daughter, these agents in Chapel Hill, they gave me an abscess in my leg. This is something that the CIA agents in Berlin-Bach started doing. So the agents in Chapel Hill, they began doing it over again. And they lie to my parents. They say, oh, well, it's the bike seat. Bullshit. I've biked thousands of miles, never had that, never. But that's, for idiots like my parents, that's how they'll get away with lying about it. They always have a cover story. Now they're blocking me, hang on. Yeah, so they gave me an abscess, and then I found out much later my girlfriend's father had an abscess. He had to go to the goddamn doctor. It was huge, and it was a huge problem. Again, he is being targeted. The way they get away with it is they'll claim, oh, well, it was normal with Monica's father here, but we got the idea from it, and we're doing it with him. That's one possible version. Or they'll sell it as, oh, well, it's a coincidence her father got it, and it's a coincidence that he has it. Or, oh, no, Dante here, he's had a history for the past years now of getting an abscess from bike riding. And it's just a coincidence Monica's father got it. It's bullshit. They look at the possibilities, and then they pick one. So her father's been targeted heavily, and of course I don't tell her this. So now let's get into what's been going on here with the FBI and what I've been telling them. I'm just squatting down on the floor here. I have no furniture, I sleep on the floor, in my sleeping bag. So yeah, let's get into this. So I've explained to these agents, CIA is guilty of lying. And I've explained to them that the way the CIA has lied is, they've bold-faced lied. I had a cassette that proved WHATS guilty. The CIA stole it. People have, the FBI has looked at those memories, and they just can't believe that the story is real and true. Well, their lack of belief does not negate reality. Furthermore, they've got real technology reading. So I just give them the truth of things, and I explain things and give them my observations and how obvious it is to me as to how the CIA lied. These agents, just like everybody else, they don't want to believe it, apparently. I mean, these agents want me to say, well, they're doing better because they've done less. Well, there's a dead cat here. My whole family's been targeted. The reality is what they want, this is what I figured out what they're up to. They want me to take the job, get the apartment, and just let everything just die off. Well, going back to New Orleans, they knew I was going to go to Phoenix next. To Arizona next. And Phoenix was definitely on my list because I had already looked and researched a long time ago the international airport here. So it was a sure thing I was going to come here. And so the agents in New Orleans, they got in touch with agents here. And so therefore I was dealing with two groups of agents, and I knew it. So I told, and these agents were saying, and the agents in New Orleans, well, we just take all your tapes and then you've got nothing for proving. Now, I've been saying, look, there's a ton of information on those cassettes. Nobody, and I mean nobody from the CIA wants me looking at the goddamn cassettes. While I was doing cassettes for agencies, I put on those cassettes stuff that happened that day, stuff that was lied about. Furthermore, ideas that Horvat and her officers were getting for lying down the road in their file. The tapes are a gold mine for the FBI. It's absolutely undeniable. Furthermore, this goes back to 2014, 13, and 2012. I did tapes for 3 fucking years. So you're talking 8 years, 7 years, and 6 years ago, which is closer in time to when they were doing things and lying about it. So it's more damning for the CIA. Do you understand? So when I was in New Orleans and getting ready to come out here, these agents and the agents in New Orleans brought up, we'll just take those tapes from your parents. They'll just give them to us, and then it'll be all finished. And I'm like, are you stupid? You'll get me goddamn killed here. What will happen is you'll be removing evidence. You'll be doing the CIA's cover-up, whether you believe it or not. The only way you can find out is by letting me look at those cassettes, and then you'll be proven wrong, and you'll find out that everybody's been sloppy and incompetent from the fucking FBI. which really gets down to just one group of agents in Chapel Hill. Everybody has been, a balls to the walls incompetent. And furthermore, everything's going to go downhill because the CIA plans on looking me up once I'm free of stalking. They'll type in my name. I'm on a roster for people in gang stalking, what agents I'm dealing with. I know this for a goddamn reason. I'm not going to go into it here. It'd just take too long. It's too much of a side subject. So the CIA will just look, and they'll know when I'm free of stalking, and then they're just going to wiretap me all over again. What they're going to do is hijack me. I won't be able to speak out to anybody. It's the exact same thing when I had journal entries with HWATS. She affected me and affected me heavily, so I couldn't even give them to our neighbor, a BKA agent. Germany's version of the FBI, living right next door to us. Same thing happened all over again in Berlin-Bach when I found a copy of that cassette that proved Horvat and her officers are guilty. Hijacked all over again. I'm fucking my neighbor, excuse me, but I'm not in a good mood here. Having sex with her. She's in cahoots with German agencies. I couldn't play the cassette for her. CIA in Berlin-Bach sold it as false hope. In other words, I wanted to believe I had a cassette that proved they're guilty, but I knew that I didn't. And keep in mind, David, the FBI is actually using that as a profile piece in regards to my psychology. These agents here have fucked up like crazy in regards to all sorts of stuff. They're affecting me with technology, and because I'm not, spotting it, I'm not even trying is the point, because I'm telling the truth. I look at those cassettes, and it's finished. The other point is there is no fighting here. As I've said to these agents, okay, who am I supposed to contact to investigate the CIA here? The FBI? Hello? So I've been playing fair and honest, but then they're affecting me, and they think because they get away with affecting me, it has to do with my psychology. So in other words, I've got to be constantly vigilant and kicking their teeth in, or else they fool themselves. You understand? They end up believing lies which the CIA got away with selling. There was no false hope in regards to that cassette. It was a physical object, and I memorized all sorts from it, You could hear me flipping the pages in my journal when I gave those journal entries from the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th. I've never forgotten it. So the point is, they believe something about my psychology, which is an absolute fucking lie. It's an absurdity. And then these agents actually think that my being on a dumbed down level with them involves how I was with the CIA. Well, that's a load of shit. That's a total load of shit. Furthermore, this is a statement of the intelligence of the people I deal with. It's not a statement of mine. The CIA is guilty. How much sense does it make that I'm going to sit here and be playing games with them in regards to technology? So back in New Orleans, I said, look, you let me listen to those cassettes. And, you don't want to believe that those cassettes will prove the CIA is guilty? That's fine. I said, I guarantee you let me listen to those cassettes, and it will be finished anyhow. And then, finally, they've come back at me. Well, what if there's nothing on those cassettes that proves that the CIA lied? Well, first of all, that's not going to happen. That's literally impossible. But okay, let's say it goes that way. Then I'm finished with it anyhow because I've got no more options, do I? You understand? So I gave my word and my guarantee to these agents, and then they're hitting me up with this shit, and they want to believe that this is how it was with me in the CIA. Which puts my life in danger all over again because they're too stupid to separate the differences here. Hey, I call you what you are. They're trying to give me shit in my head here. I call you what you are. They can't even get their shit straight in regards to all sorts of things. It looks to me like they're still going on these fucked up computer programs these agents from Chapel Hill were using. And that's the other thing. These agents do not clean their shit up. These agents are not cleaning up the fucking mistakes these agents in Chapel Hill made. They've gotten to the bottom of some things, but they've got no proof. Well, the proof is on those cassettes. So it looks to me what they want to do is, quote, get me back into normal life here. I get normalized again, and then we just let it all end. Well, bullshit. The CIA is going to look me up no matter what. They're not done with this. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing. They're not done with this. So I've got to look at those cassettes, and I've got to prove that the CIA is guilty, which I can do. And then, these agents gave me shit about, well, you made a promise with us and you, quote, shook our hand, but we don't have to go along with it. Like now I'm an idiot. Do you get what I'm saying? The CIA is actually guilty. I give them my word of this ending once I've looked at cassettes. And they're making a game out of it. Like now I'm an idiot for trusting them at all. How much sense does this make? Who the fuck am I supposed to contact? You understand? They're fucking with my eyes. They're drying them out. Last time I tried doing a video for you was a few days ago back at the hotel here. And they were trying to slur my words and making my eyes closed. They're trying to make it look like I was really drunk. I'd had a couple of beers. I was celebrating. But there was no way in hell that I was inebriated. So... So my plan here is once I start working at the airport, it'll be full time. And then what I've got to do is I've got to go to Chapel Hill. I've got to grab my cassettes. I've got some electronics. I got to grab my laptop, my metal detectors. The FBI in Chapel Hill was affecting my laptop so that it wouldn't work. But it's brand new out of the box, so it should work. If these agents can put it back to normal. And, I got to grab some of my belongings, and I'll grab my cassettes, come back here, and start listening to cassettes, and then this shit can be ended. And they're, quote, not going to help me here. If anything, they're going to interfere behind the scenes. But, the sooner I get to listen to those cassettes, the sooner this mess is ended. And as I've told these agents, I've told them, well, you better start mentally preparing yourself for finding out I've been telling the truth. The CIA does not want me listening to those cassettes. First of all, Horvat and her officers had it planned so that nobody would let me listen to those cassettes. I know that from when I first came back to America in June of 2014. I was with the FBI agents in Chapel Hill for 7 weeks before I went back to Germany. Nobody in their right mind from the CIA wants me listening to those cassettes because there's so much information on there which is damning for the CIA. And at this point, it's damning for Horvat and her officers, and it's damning for the CIA agents from Berlin-Bach. There was too much information that was not covered. It was not lied about. There was stuff that was omitted as well. I'm sure of that one. And yes, I got affected on cassettes heavily. Of course I did. But I can point out the difference to anybody. I never mind the fact that a lot of it's just blatantly obvious. It is for me. They've got this technology on me. So the only thing they can be in is denial of science and their own technology, which then gets down to their own belief systems and them choosing what to believe as opposed to what has actually been going on here. Which is another argument these agents have leveled at me. Well, we'll just believe whatever we were told in our file here, and then none of it will be believable. And that also doesn't fit because there's stuff on there in regards to plans Horvat had for lying. She had a computer program set up and used daily for getting ideas for lying to agents and agencies. I was used for doing their cover-up to a very large extent. So these agents, they don't want to believe that there's a cover-up being done, a professional cover-up, a cover-up done by agents for agents. As I've said to these agents, where do you think it's at? It's not on this idiot level that you're on and you insist is real. It's up here. It's right here. And I've told these agents, I can get you here. Hell, I've pointed out to these agents, you don't even know me. You're going on a fake fucking file. And you think you know where I've been in terms of observing things and noting things, and you think you know where I'm at in terms of my intelligence. It's bullshit. I can get you in here, And you can find out how intelligent I've been. But these agents, they've made no real attempt at anything. What they do is they hit on the more incredible and hard to believe stuff without actually finding out the stories behind it. They've found out very little in that regard. And again, they don't want to believe that there's anything on those cassettes because, they've been told, well, of course it's all garbage. That's a load of shit. I can listen to those cassettes, and it would take me right back in time to when I made those cassettes. And there's nothing but valuable information on those cassettes. So, and in the meantime, these agents killed Kat, have been making threats against me and family, and, the FBI was promising to have me killed long-term down the road here, 1 year. They told me 1 year. I'm going to be dead in 1 year here. So, so this is what I'm dealing with. I've got to be careful. It's stupid. I am a witness, and quite literally, they're threatening to kill family, threatening to kill me, because I'm a witness to shit they don't want to believe. It's stupid. I shake their hands, so to speak, and tell them, guaranteed the stalking's over if I get to listen to those cassettes. You steal the cassettes, I'm going to go apeshit here, because you will have destroyed my only chance of not being murdered down the road here by the CIA. How fucking hard is that one to figure out? So everybody here is playing a goddamn game with my motherfucking life without finding out what's been going on. And then they call themselves professional. Get a good fucking look. Do you realize they've actually been trying to accuse me of lying? Bullshit. And it looks, by the way, it really, really looks like, well, of course, Horvat told the truth part way. I've reclaimed my senses here, because there's just been all sorts of stuff that's come up, 100 different things, and there's no way in hell that Horvat did not tell the truth to the FBI that she held me in stalking and lied to German agents and agencies. And it sounds incredible, but, there are like 100 different points which add up to it, and these are not small things. I just don't see that it's possible. These agents communicated to me, we don't believe that Horvat held you in. I told my ex this, and she said to me, tell them to call me. You understand? My ex knows. But then, you see, the FBI would take that as a threat. And I was looking at that, well, did they tell her to say that? Because normally I would think she'd be more careful or worried or something, but maybe now she's feeling, safer now, since this mess has been over for 6 years now, so almost 6 years, 5.5, so, because she does know I was held in, there's no question about that one, so, and, these agents have brought up points like, well, this and that. I'm saying, hey, take a good look with your technology. Do a brain squeeze here and take a good goddamn look, because I'm not hiding a goddamn thing. Horvat lied about holding me in. The point is, she didn't tell the truth about her own psychology and why she did hold me in. So I've got fuckloads of information on those cassettes. I've got 1,000 cassettes. I've got to bring them all here to Phoenix. You understand? And, these agents have talked about taking the cassettes and in the meantime, and pointed out to me, well, you're stupid for believing us that we'd let you listen to those cassettes. That's stupid. Their whole thing has been about, we'll end the stalking. Well, this is a guaranteed way of ending it without any fucking problems. Guaranteed. And I've told these agents, you'll end up eating shit, man. And I told them, don't go killing my goddamn family and shit, because once you do, there's no putting that back in the box. And, don't go fucking up relations with me and you before you've even found out I'm telling the truth. You understand? So as usual, my life in danger, my family's life in danger, and I'm a goddamn witness. Do you understand, David? And, and then other things that come up. Well, yeah, okay, you find out I'm telling the truth about the CIA, and they've looked at what I think about with the FBI. First of all, I will no longer be a threat. I'll be an asset for the FBI. specifically for these agents. They'll have to do the same fucking thing as these agents in Berlin-Bach. They'll have to get the correct goddamn file. They'll have to have a huge chunk of information to be able to give to their higher-ups. So that's going to go on for 6 months. And then the next thing is, of course, they want a non-disclosure agreement. They're looking at what I want out of this, which, of course, I can't get anything out of it if that's what the FBI chooses. But in a perfect world here, non-disclosure agreement with my parents, my brother, my sister, and a few friends, and tell the truth about the rape framing, And, pass the hat around, as I've said, because you have financially crippled me, fucked up my first book, blocked sales of both books. They've done everything in their power to financially cripple me. So pass the hat around and put some money in it. I don't ask for much. But for these agents, they think, well, that's pie in the sky stuff. Like, oh, you're delusional and you want to believe it to the point that the FBI would ever go there. Well, hey, man, they fucking find out I'm a witness and that they've murdered my fucking family, which is another point I brought up with these agents. Been fucking killing my goddamn family and fucking people's pets that I love, including pets of our own. And I'm an actual fucking witness. So, oh yeah, it's all pie in the sky stuff. Till somebody does their fucking job and performs as fucking agents and finds out I'm a goddamn witness. Then that's not so incredible or hard to believe, is it? They're really drying my eyes out. They're doing it just to annoy me and interrupt my video. So, of course I'm goddamn angry about this, It's stupid. Agents are the one group of people in the world who are supposed to be objective and questioning, especially in circumstances like this. Have you seen anybody fucking do it? One group of agents in Berlin-Bach. That's it. Everybody from the FBI has gone down. They're like the meter maids of agencies. They're like racist in regards to their targets. They're just so absolutely biased and prejudiced. So, and I'll see what I get with these agents. I've told them I will know what kind of people you are when I go back to Chapel Hill and I get those cassettes. If they're there, then you're giving me a chance. Fine. And good, But until then, I don't know. And all I've dealt with is fuck-ups from the FBI. I've got a copy of my paper file I sent off to agencies. It's right here on my tablet. These agents have been affecting me into not looking at that. Which is also stupid because I was affected when I did the file. And furthermore, there are entire stories. There's an enormous amount of information dumps I can give in regards to information in that paper file, but they're affecting me into not looking at it, which I will do this evening here. Before I go to bed, I'm going to take a look at it. Provided they don't wipe my memory out. That's happened consistently. Keep forgetting I have it on my goddamn tablet. I can start proving things now. Why wouldn't I? You understand? I want this mess finished. I want the CIA caught here so that my life can become normal. If I wake up these agents, they're going to agree with all sorts of stuff here. Yes, I'll still have to have voices in my head, but boy, stalking will be a whole different world here. And that said, they're not doing a lot of stalking with people and shit here. They're not. But that's rather the point. They just want me to just let it all die off. My wanting to look at those cassettes is fantasy and kook shit. And that's these agents fucking up. So that's rather the point. They're going to get me fucking killed. And then on top of it, they're threatening to kill me anyhow. Balls to the walls, stupid. So that's it. I'm going to end the video here. And I'm pretty fucked off, actually. It's just incompetence. It is incompetence. It won't hurt these agents as I've communicated to them. It will not hurt them to give me the opportunity to prove that I'm telling the truth. This is me having to reason with trained agents. Can you believe this shit? I deal with total morons. And then they're trying to sell me, well, we're more objective and being more fair here. We're doing less stalking and shit. And the reality is, they just want this to all just disappear. Which, man, I couldn't want that more than you know. Except I've got no fucking choice. I got to look at the tapes, and it will prove the CIA is guilty. Nobody from the CIA, Horvat and our officers, LJ and his officers, the agents from Wuppertal, the CIA, period. Nobody wants me looking at those cassettes, and it's for a goddamn reason. So, I mean, there's tons of information on those cassettes that was never put in the file. I never did videos about it, you name it. Horvat let me put information on there, thinking, and quote, knowing that nobody would ever get to look at it from the FBI. That's it, exactly. And I've told these agents, 100 different ways they don't want to listen, so. That said, once I listen to the cassettes, you don't hear from me, David, or, I'll just send you an email. I'll say, well, things are going good over here. You'll know, well, the CIA is being investigated. And I won't speak about anything else that's going on, because then that gets into a whole different ballgame. So, then everything, I'll have to be a team player, Since these agents don't believe it's real and true, I'm just telling you anyhow. And it would look weird, and I don't want to lie to you. The only thing I'll be able to tell you is things are going good, and that's it. So I guess I'll end the video here, and hopefully in a couple of months, I'll be listening to cassettes, and the CIA will be investigated. They're really drying out my left eye. So that's it. Signing off from Phoenix, Arizona. That's it. And sorry about the video quality. They've added. It's showing the incorrect amount of memory on my tablet. They're showing that it's really full, and actually it isn't. I've gone in and I've looked at it. I should have at least 8 gigabytes free for doing videos. And it's almost all the way full, so I have to put it on VGA quality. All right, so that's it.